I'm not a representative for Alcoholics Anonymous. This is just my personal study. I'm not in public relations. I don't work for them. This is, and I've always said, this is my personal study. Okay, so without its legions of well-wishers, AA could never have grown as it has. A legion is 3 to 6,000 in the Roman army. Now it means like multitudes. AA could never have grown as it has. Throughout the world, immense and favorable publicity of every description has been the principal means of bringing alcoholics into our fellowship. Okay, let's stop for a second. In AA offices, clubs, and homes, telephones ring constantly. One voice says, I read a piece in the newspapers. I mean, they used to, but I don't think so anymore. One voice says, I read in the newspapers. Another, we heard on a radio program. And still another, we saw a moving picture, or we saw something about AA on television. It is no exaggeration to say that half of AA's membership has been led to us through channels like these. I was led through my second husband, and he found it through the hospital. The inquiring voices are not all alcoholics or their families. Doctors read medical papers about Alcoholics Anonymous and call for more information. Clergymen see articles in their church journals and also make inquiries. Employers learn that great corporations have set their approval upon us and wish to discover what can be done about alcoholism in their own firms. Okay, so these are all the different ways that we can find out about AA. We got newspaper, radio, moving pictures, television, medical papers, preachers, churches, and employers. But now we have social media, internet, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever kind of YouTube, whatever's out there. There's so much out there. There's so many different ways, okay, that people can find out now. Therefore, a great responsibility fell upon us to develop the best possible public relations policy for Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't think there is any other public relations policy that says they're based on attraction, because I can't. No, businesses don't have that. It's like, in effect, saying we don't have a public relations policy at all. Yeah. Through many painful experiences, we think we have arrived at what that policy ought to be. Policy is a course or principle of action adopted or proposed by a government, party, business, or individual. Basically, it's a rule. It is the opposite in many ways of usual promotional practice. Promotional practice is like a sales pitch, marketing technique. Okay. We found that we had to rely upon the principle of attraction rather than of promotion. Let's see how these two contrasting ideas, attraction and promotion, work out. A political party wishes to win an election, so it advertises the virtues of its leadership to draw votes. Whatever. Virtues are character traits, that enable people to act in ways that are morally right, develop their potential, and live well with others. Traits of excellence that can be moral, social, or intellectual. They are the content of our character and the truest expression of ourself. Example: honesty, courage, compassion, generosity, fidelity, integrity, fairness, self control, and prudence. Similar to morals, but morals may be more limited in scope and focus more on avoiding bad than achieving good. So the political party wants to win an election, so it advertises the qualities of excellence of its leadership, right? To gain votes. Okay, a charity, a worthy charity wants to raise money. Forthwith means right away. Its letterhead shows the name of every distinguished person whose support can be obtained. So on the letterhead of the company, it will have referencing people's names that are important. Much of the political, economic, and religious life of the world is dependent upon publicized leadership. People who symbolize causes and ideas feel a deep human need. We of AA do not question that. Okay, so we know that some of these people are needed. But we do have to soberly face the fact that being in the public eye is hazardous, especially for us. By temperament, nearly every one of us had been an irrepressible promoter. Okay, so by temperament, temperament is a person's characteristic way of reacting to the world and is a significant aspect of social and emotional health. Consistent behavioral differences that are mostly innate, that means you're born with it, and are relatively independent of learning, values, and attitudes. Example: easygoing, slow to warm, and active. Studies shows how a person approaches and reacts to situations, their mood and emotions, and their level of fear, frustration, sadness, and discomfort. Alcoholics are born with something inside of us that's good at promoting or selling. Promoting is where's promoting? By temperament, by just the way we are, nearly, and not all, but nearly every one of us had been an uncontrollable salesperson. And the prospect of a society composed almost entirely of advertisers was frightening. Considering this explosive factor, we knew we had to exercise self restraint. The way this restraint paid off was startling. Restraint is to hold back. It resulted in more favorable publicity of Alcoholics Anonymous than could possibly have been obtained through all the arts and abilities of AA's best press agents. I don't think we have any press. I don't know if we have any press agents. Is it like paper? Press agents are like people who write paper articles in the newspaper. I'm sure there have been people who news press agents who wrote articles about AA in the newspaper. Obviously, AA had to be publicized somehow, so we resorted to the idea that it would be far better to let our friends do this for us. Precisely that has happened. So that doesn't mean that we never speak about our membership in Alcoholics Anonymous to anyone ever at all, because it's a big, big secret. I mean, it can be if you want it to be a secret for you, make it a secret for you. It's not a secret for me because it wasn't a secret for me when I was a practicing alcoholic. It wasn't a secret. Everybody knew about that, and that was fine. No one had a problem with knowing about that. But now that I'm clean and sober in Alcoholics Anonymous, let's not make it be a problem that I'm clean and sober in Alcoholics Anonymous, because it's not a secret either. I'm not out here promoting anything, but I'm not hiding anything. So this doesn't mean that you hide stuff. That's not what Tradition 11 means. It means you're not out there like trying to push it. Okay, precisely that has happened to an unbelievable extent. Veteran newsmen, trained doubters that they are, have gone all out to carry AA's message. A newspaper person has to, in order to get the facts of something, have to doubt everything, so you can just get down to the facts. To them, we are something more than us, the source of good stories. On almost every news front, the men and women of the press have attached themselves to us as friends. In the beginning, the press could not understand our refusal of all personal publicity. I mean, like I didn't want anyone to know. I mean, nobody wants people to know that they used to be an alcoholic. Nobody wants people to know that, you know, their personal stuff. It's hard to it's hard to do that. It's hard to be vulnerable. In the beginning, the press could not understand, okay? They were genuinely baffled by our insistence upon anonymity. Then they got the point. Here was something rare in the world, a society which said it wished to publicize its principles and its work, but not its individual members. The press was delighted with this attitude. Ever since, these friends have reported AA with an enthusiasm which the most ardent members would find hard to match. Passionate, the most passionate members. So we focus on principles over personalities. There was actually a time when the press of America thought the anonymity of AA was better for us than some of our own members did. At one point, about 100 of our society were breaking anonymity at the public level. With perfectly good intent, these folks declared that the principle of anonymity was horse and buggy stuff. Horse and buggy is the era before Industrial Revolution. So, like old fashioned ideas. Something appropriate to AA's pioneering days. They were sure that AA could go faster and farther if it availed itself of modern publicity methods. AA, they pointed out, included many persons of local, national, or international fame. Yeah. Provided they were willing, and many were, why shouldn't their membership be publicized, thereby encouraging others to join us? They're still doing that, like I just said. These were plausible arguments, reasonable. They sound good. But happily, our friends of the writing profession disagreed with them. The Foundation wrote letters to practically every news outlet in North America setting forth our public relations policy of attraction rather than promotion and emphasizing personal anonymity as AA's greatest protection. Since that time, editors and rewrite men have repeatedly deleted names and pictures of members from AA copy. Frequently, they have reminded ambitious individuals of AA's anonymity policy. They have even sacrificed good stories to this end. The force of their cooperation has certainly helped. Only a few AA members are left to deliberately break anonymity at the public level. This, in brief, is the process by which AA's Tradition 11 was constructed. To us, however, it represents far more than a sound public relations policy. It is more than a denial of self seeking. This tradition is a constant and practical reminder that personal ambition has no place in AA. In it, each member becomes an active guardian of our fellowship. I wish. I mean, maybe it used to be. Ambition is a desire and determination to achieve success. Ambition can be a motivating force that helps people face challenges and develop a growth mindset. It can also help people feel like they are pursuing their purpose and working toward a more meaningful life. So those are good ambition, and there's positive ambition and negative ambition. It's the spark inside you that compels you to try your best at everything you do. Examples of ambition look different for each person, as everyone's marker for daunting yet fulfilling is unique. Let me tell you what, it is daunting yet fulfilling to break this down and study it, look up all the meanings of words, reconstruct it, put it in my own words, and add my own stuff to it too. I mean, it's daunting, and I don't want to do it. Uh, so basically, uh, Tradition 11 is not using AA as a way to achieve personal success. We're not supposed to use AA to get fame or money. We're not supposed to. There's no one that I know ever in the history of ever that has used AA as a way to achieve fame. How do you get famous by saying, I was drunk and now I'm not? There's nothing. Anyway, whatever. Guess I'll live. So step 12 is super, super long, super, super drawn out. I got a lot of notes on it. It's going to take a long time to get through step 12, but I made it through Tradition 11.